how to celebrate Celtic Samhain. Celtic festivals are growing ever more popular. There's a lot more interest in them. And one of the most popular is the festival of Samhain. But what is Samhain? How do we celebrate it? What do we do with it? That's what we're going to dive into in today's video. Welcome, I'm Kim Marie, and this channel is all about supporting women to step into their most empowered self so they can live their most fulfilling life. I am super excited to talk about the Celtic Festival of Samhain because it is one of my favorite times in the year. We're going to learn how Samhain supports us on our path to empowerment by understanding Samhain's significance and history. When does Samhain start? What does Samhain celebrate? How did the Celts celebrate Samhain? We're also going to consider why Samhain is important to celebrate, and we're going to explore how to celebrate Samhain and how is Samhain celebrated in today's world. Okay, so first we want to take a look at understanding Samhain's historical significance. Samhain has ancient Celtic and pagan origins dating back over 2,000 years. And you're noticing I'm saying Samhain, even though our English spelling Samhain is what it looks like in the video title. But Samhain is how we pronounce it, and it's understood to be a term for summer's end. So when does Samhain start? Well, Samhain is one of the cross-quarter festivals. The quarter festivals are the solstices and equinoxes, and Samhain is right in the middle between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. And it typically is from October 31st to November 1st, sundown to sundown. So it's really just one night or one day of a festival that is celebrated. So what does Samhain celebrate in its historical significance? Well, one is the end of harvest. This is considered the final harvest in the year. Interestingly, it's very close in timing to our own American Thanksgiving, which is toward the end of November. This is at the end of October, so a few weeks later, but similar timing to celebrate that final harvest. It's also considered a celebration of the thinning of the veil, which is a time when we can connect more with our ancestors, with the spirit world, the other world as it's sometimes called, or the underworld as it's called. This is a powerful time of entering into that deeper inner space and turning inward to connect with ourselves. Samhain is also commonly thought of as the Celtic New Year. I've had many times where people say, oh, I wish the new year began at the time of the autumn. And it's like almost like some of us are feeling a certain origin of the new year beginning at that time. If we come from Celtic origin like I do, then maybe you feel a little of that within you. Like this is the time when a new beginning is meant to start. So everybody has their own. I mean, there's a different time. The Chinese New Year tends to be more at the cross-quarter festival in February instead, between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So lots of people have different timings. Lots of cultures and traditions have different timings. But this one in particular was very largely celebrated for this Celtic New Year. So how did the Celts and Pagans celebrate Samhain? Well, one way was often having bonfires and a sense of protection for the harvest and for connection to staying in your center and tuning into your inner light and protecting that inner light as the days grow shorter and the nights grew longer and the darkness came over the earth. There were also celebrations that included things like divination and prophecy to speak of what may come forth in the future. It's also very significantly a festival honoring the ancestors. And so there would be rituals and dances and various methods, sometimes wearing masks and costumes, which might just be where we got our modern Halloween from, which happens to also be on October 31st. Many of our own current modern traditions come from these old pagan and Celtic festivals that have happened for millennia. So why celebrate Celtic Samhain today? Well, honoring this time in the year is a powerful time of turning inward, connecting with our deeper self, maybe remembering our ancestors. This also is often considered All Souls Day in the Christian church. And so there's a an honoring of ancestors that was also picked up by the Christians to honor this time. And celebrating it today helps us honor the turning of the wheel and honor nature more and connect with ourselves more and prepare to turn inward with more intention and understanding of what is coming. It's a powerful entry to remembering who we are and really tuning in to the deepest aspects of ourselves. And I love to think of it as an opportunity to set ourselves up for the deepest moment, which I call the Sacred Nights of Winter. And I have an annual Sacred Nights of Winter journal that I put out every year. This year's theme is living aligned with nature. So an awesome tool to connect more with these festivals and what the laws of nature are and how we live aligned with nature and how we are nature. That's another reason to celebrate this festival, is to help us tune into nature. The link is in the description. I encourage you to check it out. It's a wonderful, beautiful, full color journal that you will love during the darkest nights of the year. So how exactly is Samhain celebrated? Well, modern Samhain celebrations often include a blend of some of these ancient Celtic traditions with modern practices such as special gatherings or altars or rituals that are performed at this time. So you might create a special altar honoring your ancestors, or have a special ritual where you sit and maybe journal as if talking to one of your ancestors and really steep in the beauty of that thin veil that allows you to connect more. It also may be an opportunity for you to host a gathering and really honor the ancestors, or just honor the stepping in and turning inward, and how you will create your own ritual around honoring the turning of the wheel in that way. Maybe having a giant feast for that final harvest with the final harvested foods. It will be amazing to allow yourself to honor some of these old traditions and begin to use it as a tool to connect with your modern life in the ways that you live today. And as I said, it's also celebrated by honoring departed loved ones, similar to All Souls Day or All Saints Day. I've been to rituals where we light a candle for our loved one and place it in a special space where all the candles get lit, and we just hold ourselves in silence for a little while to honor and remember and think about the beauty of how those people, those ancestors, touched our lives. So that's something you could consider trying to do to celebrate Samhain. And as I said, maybe finishing it up or enjoying beforehand some kind of special harvest dinner, a gathering, something similar to Thanksgiving, maybe a little simpler, but just really honoring nature's bounty at this time and knowing that we're moving into winter. This is a time when many people have already dried their fruits and vegetables and meats and canned for the winter and have gotten their reserves and gotten their wood. I stack wood for the winter and get it ready and have things done. This is usually a time when we're celebrating having all that work done, all of that agricultural work, all of the work of preparing for the cold, long, dark winter. Samhain is ultimately an opportunity to connect more deeply with your inner life, with the natural rhythms of nature and life itself, and begin to honor the turning of the wheel, moving inward, turning toward the darker time in the year, and getting ready to settle in, almost like a hibernation, where maybe a lot of the work is done and we get to celebrate that and prepare to step into the next stage or cycle of the year. Be sure to check out the link to my Sacred Nights of Winter journal. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share and let people know and like the video if it was helpful to you. I hope I've offered you some good tools and ideas for celebrating the festival of Samhain and honoring the Celtic festival that is so powerful for this time of year. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.